Yep, that's gonna be weeks of gouging, grinding and welding. It's just a pity whoever was in here before didn't weld the damn thing onto the end that broke off. Really incredible forces to do that. Incredible. Let's take a look at the piece that broke off. Started to trim her up, smooth her off. Get rid of all that fatigued metal, stretched pieces. That's nicely cleaned up. Just need to start the marathon on the other half. So those are the ribs of the plate that continue right through the structure of the whole jaw. Yeah, marathon. A welding marathon. Oh well, that's why it's here. Damn, sometimes I wish I had an office job. Alright, so this is where the technical bit starts. Get her dummied up, two halves together. That's the original pieces all filled, prepped, ground clean. The original plate. Get some extra beef on the inside now. It looks messy in there, but that's just the original crack. That obviously will be back gouged 100%. So the tricky bit now is calculating how much the weld will shrink and bow the crusher face. So what we have to do is counter bow it prior to welding, so that when the weld contracts, this flat face becomes flat. So that's the technical bit. Counter bow to compensate for weld warpage. Obviously preheats and underpasses should also compensate. In our experience, you still have shrinkage. So the real skill comes trying to counter that. It's just a matter of filling the Grand Canyon here. So that's probably next on the list. I'll have to put some spacer blocks at the top to stop it squeezing shut. So I'll cut some spacer blocks, put them in the top, and then we'll start to fill the bottom. All the jointer plates drawn out, measured, doubler plates. An awful lot of 45 preps, meters and meters of 45 preps. Yeah, I think we'll set the milling machine up. Not a nice job with a grinder or even the gas by hand. So yeah, we'll get the milling machine set up. We'll save a lot of time and give a much nicer finish to give us some 45 V prep for the jointer plates. So yeah, time to fire the welder up at last. Well, she's getting there after what feels like an eternity, fucking hanging upside down with very sore arms. And it's pouring in quite nicely with a 1.6. Nothing compares like a 1.6 for raw deposition penetration. It is brutal. Definitely starting to make some ground now. Yeah. Oh man. So here's the fill plates to join the two halves of the jaw back together. Oh yeah, those weld preps are a thing of beauty. Bloody beautiful. Double 45, 100% penetration. Bloody beautiful. Yeah, spoiled rotten having a machine shop at my disposal. 120 ton milling machine. Cut some chamfers on my plates. Unreal. Love it. Let's get these tacked in. So yeah, just a little review of Sealy Torch. Unfortunately, I forgot it was in one of these pockets when I started my preheat with the big gas rose head. And yeah, poor old Torch there. He was stuck to the top and didn't see it. And yeah, great little torch, super useful, magnetic base, swivel head, absolutely loved it, served me well for years, been bashed around, kicked around, dropped, and it's always worked flawlessly. And yeah, forgot he was in there, turned on the gas head, and that's the result. Head is absolutely fried. And there's the base. But yeah, want to know the best part? Still bloody works. Unbelievable. I reckon I might even be able to get into the charge port. Incredible. So yeah, Sealy products, that's a big thumbs up from me. Unbelievable. Yeah, so yesterday, not a bad day. Slow start, takes a while to pump 150 degrees of preheat into such a lot of metal, but yeah, got her up to 150 degrees. Pumped in a couple of connector plates, and Went over the top of some of their previous wells, which are pretty nasty downhands. No penetration whatsoever, which is a bit crazy on plate that's so heavy. So yeah, I just blasted some 400 amp 1.6 runs over the top of them to beef them out big time. So that should make a lot of difference. So we're gonna get her turned over this morning and fill the back sides of those plates. Another load of preheat, and of course have to watch the interpass, make sure it doesn't exceed temps as well. So yeah, it can be quite slow. Whenever the temperature starts to get too high, then of course I have to start welding on another join, let the first one cool back down, monitor it. Basically, yeah, you're juggling two joints at once, monitoring temperatures. But yeah, certainly puts a day in. The next few days, and the next few days, the next roll of wire, the next bottle of water. I reckon there'll be at least 20 bottles of water drank on this job. But yeah, we'll keep a count of those two for a laugh. Welder's best friend once it starts getting warm. But yeah, come back to you in a couple of days, see how it's going. Well, another day, another roll of wire, and we have two sides pretty much joined up, middle, halfway there, all the previous welds doubled up, and yeah, she's coming on pretty good. Tell you one thing, it's not nice having your hand in there with 400 amps and the pockets already sitting at 150 degrees. Yeah, all you got's a little leather glove, try and protect the hands. It's like a bloody oven in there. But yeah, I can't get enough of this 1.6 wire. It is brutal, almost sub-arc in dimensions. Phenomenal deposition, phenomenal penetration equals phenomenal fusion. But yeah, she's hot. 380 amps, 7.5 meters a minute at 30 volts. I had to turn her down a little bit, things were just getting a bit too hot, but we'll crank her back up to 425 amp, about 8 meters a minute, whenever we're blasting in the roots on the back of those joints tomorrow. She'll be cooking. Oh man, there's just nothing like it after a long day sweating in the workshop with a big welder. Outside, fresh air, clear the lungs out, clear the head out. Therapy for mind and body. Chill out for the weekend, relax for a bit, come back on Monday and do it all over again. Enjoy your weekend, people. Have a good one. Well, another week, another 180-degree turn, which might add is quite a stressful job. Turning, I reckon, 8 ton plus on top of a bench, trying to find the CG and get it to go in the direction I need in a totally odd shape. Yeah, I'm starting to get the hang of it since this is about the 3rd or 4th turn already. But yeah, turning it without damaging chains or damaging the bench or damaging the floor or damaging the crane. It's certainly a great start to the morning, but oh well, she's ready for another week's welding. Today you should see the doubler plate on here. That prep filled, doubler plate put on and filled. Then same there. And then that's internal work pretty much done. We can put the lids on her, set her on her back, and fill her up. So yeah, we'll see how she's looking come Friday. So far, 90 kilos of wire, a lot of bottles of water, and the gas bottles are starting to mount up too. So yeah, that's all the pockets, internal welding finished. Doesn't look like much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major joins, and let's just illustrate it. Each of those 5 major joins, we have this piece set in. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 large fillet welds, and then either side of that infill joiner piece is a doubler plate, and that is another 1, 2, 3, 4 welds. 8 welds in total, 8 large fillets to make one connection. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, I missed the bottom one, 5. That's 40 large fillets to connect that bottom on. 40. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty bloody pleased to get to this point, because 40 large fillet welds don't look like much until you see how much wire's been burnt. And yeah, it's a milestone and I'm feeling pretty bloody relieved. Now we can think about the outside pieces, the lids, and after that we'll look at the last stage, which will be the last welding stage, I should say, which will be the main joint itself, the main plate with the original broken joint. And that main plate is in the region of 50mm thick, so yeah, that will be a lot of gouging and a lot of welding, but that's this whole damn job. A lot of gouging, a lot of welding, and then once that main piece is gouged and welded, the entire structure will be stress relieved, so that all that welding should, there's a word for it, I forget the damn technical word for it, but yeah, basically it will release all the welding stresses within the structure. You can see how the original repairs were staggered, so you have full width from here to there, and then the next one they didn't put any plates on. Those two are mine, obviously, and then the next one they have full width, but the large mistake they made was they didn't continue these down onto that, hence why it broke off. But we're going to leave them staggered like that to try and dissipate the stress that's exerted onto the frame when it's actually crushing rock in the quarry. We don't want a big row of solid plates all terminating in one place, because you know what will happen there. A really solid stiff point meets a much thinner weaker point equals bang, back in the workshop. So yeah, this should somewhat dissipate the extreme stresses and spread them out over that span a little softer than terminating with a massive junction of doubled up plate. So yeah, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll look at getting the top plate on, the bottom plate's on, tacked of course, not welding, because there's a pile of welding still to do there. But yeah, tomorrow we'll look at getting the top plate on, and when we get the top plate on, then I reckon we'll be able to lie her down onto her back with these pockets facing upwards, and then we can look at preparing to get the lids on. And when the lids are on, that will pretty much be the end of, that will be the final plate that will be put on the job. I'm actually looking forward to calculating just how many kilos of steel have been put into it to strengthen it, but I know one thing, there's a lot more steel went into it than my total body weight, maybe 3 or 4 of me, so yeah, and I wouldn't exactly be skinny, so yeah, a lot of metal. So yeah, update tomorrow. Cheers guys. So yeah, my mate's like, you have to come and do CrossFit. CrossFit's great. And I'm like, oh man, it's just not compatible with my work. So yeah, imagine doing CrossFit, knocking your crap in, and then coming to work sore as hell the next day, just to wrestle with chains and steel like this. It's like, no way. Not for me, bud. This is my CrossFit, day in, day out. Well, side plates are half welded on. Got her off the operating table, and it's starting to actually look like there might be some chance of completing the project this century. Bloody relieved to get her down and starting to get ready to put the lids on the boxes. So that's the next stage. They're all prepped up, ready to slide down. Just got some final sorting of the joins, and she'll be sitting pretty, ready to rock. Ready for the stress relieving, I should say. But of course there's still a crack to weld on the bottom. It has been gouged yesterday and has a V-prep almost ready to go. So yeah, a few more steps, about 7 more days, and we should be nearly there. Oh man, hopefully my last stage. Sealing her up, boxing her in, and all being well, that's the end of the major repair. Journey I didn't think it was going to end. But yeah, next she goes into the milling machine, and we will clock the toggle seat to ensure that it's parallel with the shaft. If we're not happy with it, we remove the toggle seat, weld up the seat holder, and remachine so that it is perfectly parallel with the shaft. That will ensure an even distribution of load across the toggle plate and an even loading on the bearings and the main frame, which basically means long, reliable life. That's the aim. I sure as hell hope I'll never see us again. So yep, next stop, milling machine. So that's the runoff plates cut off. The surface Grand Canyon is filled. Thank goodness. That was pretty hot all day, 150 degrees. Took a lot of gas today. But that is one of the final steps to the end. That is all the joining completely finished. And now we've just some surface wear where the wear part wore into the jaw. We'll just build that up, and then it's going for a skim with the milling machine, and that'll leave the wear part face beautifully and flat. It'll support the manganese wear part evenly and make everything much stronger and better seated. So yeah, she is flying to the finish line now. Some monster pad welding. Just filling up the wear part grooves. One thing I will say regards earth clamps, got this solid brass coil spring earth clamp, and I've been toasting it with 400 amps for that much wire, and it's still got all its spring. It's as good as new. I would rate it as probably the best earth clamp you can get. I've tried them all. The screw type, absolute crap. Tighten it on, weld for a bit, heats up, comes loose, and repeat. Then you try and tighten it up, and it burns your hand because it's red hot, and weld for a bit more and it goes loose again. And yeah, they're just absolute crap. The threads mess up on them. Yeah, they're junk. If you want a really good earth clamp, a solid brass with the heavy coil spring in it, and it clamps the complete cable. The only thing you need to do very occasionally is just nip up that nut, and that keeps the cable nice and tight and a good contact. And yeah, it's warm obviously because I've been welding flat out this morning, but yeah, best earth clamp in the market in my opinion. Tried and tested. So this is the clocking process. So yeah, there's just a little bit of toggle seat wear. So we're building it up with weld and remachining perfectly level and flat to ensure a perfectly level flat toggle seat alignment with the shaft. So the seat is clocked perfectly in line with the toggle and machined true, and that will result in even load distribution through the bearings and the shaft and the body of the crusher itself. Done pretty good on my realignment. I think it was a 0.2 out according to the machinist, 0.2 of a millimeter. So yeah, I can live with that. I'm pretty bloody pleased with myself getting it that close. So we'll just rectify the bit of wear, point 2 of the alignment, and machiner, and that will be her completed. Three units pumping in 50 kVA of pure current to heat up the jaw to over 600 degrees to stress relieve the welded joint. Takes an awful lot of energy and electricity to heat up about 5 tons, I'm sure, at least six tons of steel just in the bottom end of that jaw alone. So yeah, pretty incredible amount of electricity over a very long period of time, 2 days I'm sure, on repeated cycles, high temperature with a controlled drop, another raise, a few different sequences I'm not entirely familiar with, but that's what these guys do, that's their job, and it certainly looks like you need to know what you're doing. But this will bring the welded structure to full strength with no welding stresses. Machining all complete. Flywheels mounted, ready for collection. You can see by the patch of machining in the center how much of a bend was in the entire body of the jaw, bearing in mind that the brake was down at the bottom, so you can see that the bow was over the entire structure. Whether this is from crushing forces, fatigue, or from original manufacture in the factory, who knows, but it's rectified now. It's machined perfectly flat. In theory is better than when it left the factory, and much stronger. So we're ready for another 15 years crushing. Bearings permitting, of course. Probably be due a bearing rebuild some stage, but apart from that, she's ready to rock. Big girl. I'm sure there's so there could be 10, 11 ton there, maybe 12. It's been emotional. Adios. Yeah guys, thanks for tuning in for this little update on the project so far, and if you like what you're seeing, click subscribe, throw me a like, and I'll be sure to keep the videos coming, and we'll try and chuck a bit of variety in there. There's more life than just bloody welding up broken crushers, so expect to see plenty of redneckery involving my baby here, Dodge Cummins. A few nice little products on it I want to talk about. BD diesel top shifter, things like that. Some silly tug of wars on the cards as well. Some tractor redneckery. So yeah, if you want to see a bit of fun and games, click subscribe. Check back soon. Cheers guys, thanks for the support.